we want to do a quick coverage of. We went to too many games this year. We did it last year for the first time. We met up with our buddy Dan from Console Wars. Obviously, can't say enough good things about him. But this
Beautiful
year,
man. Make sure you subscribe to his page.
Yeah, links are below. This year we did it right because last year we went to the Saturday, went way too early.
We got there by like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and it was fine. We still met up with some people, but it was just okay. We bought some shit and left. This time we got a hotel, did copious amounts of drinking.
Well, we can go hit by hit for this. So we got the hotel. We got it with Dan from Console Wars.
Yep.
And we're like, all right, we're gonna do this shit right. So we were in the hotel room. We started drinking at first. We decided to play Fuck the Dealer. Classic card game. So we're playing, and the idea
Jim,
of the game.
You already fucked up though. What happened on the very first card? So why don't we lay out what Fuck the Dealer is in case you didn't know, because we didn't know before this.
It had been years since we played.
It's very simple. You have a dealer, not all the other players. And the person to your left, if I'm the dealer, I say, Jim, guess the very first card. You just have to guess the number. Simple enough. So Dan's dealing. And
you have to drink a certain amount if they either...
Yeah, so you get two guesses to be... you get two guesses. So if you guess, wrong, you get one more guess. If you guess right on the first guess, the dealer has to drink 6 seconds. If you guess right on the second guess, 3 seconds. And if you guess wrong both times, the person who guessed wrong, they drink 3 seconds.
Well, they have to drink the difference of the numbers, I think.
That's correct, yes. Sorry. So if I say I guess 10 and the number 6, I drink 4 seconds. After 3 wrong guesses in a row, and it has to be in a row, then the deck moves over to the next person as a dealer. So Dan, right, he's a dealer, so I get to pick first. And right away I said 8. And Jim, what card came right out?
Well, Brian, it was an 8.
And statistically, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, statistically, that's some bullshit right there. So me and you were just so of course me knowing you, that son of a bitch you are, I go, oh, fucking course. Dan goes, how the hell did he pick this right? He's like, this is impossible. I've never seen this before. Meanwhile, I'm just going, that's why I call him Brian Bullshit Quinn.
Yeah, I have a innate ability to guess numbers, get luck on games like that.
This whole game was a game of just beating the odds, Brian.
So, we're going back and forth. It's pretty,
deck's going around. It's moving. We're all drinking. We're having fun.
It's what you would expect from this game. It stays on someone for a little bit. And obviously, as the deck gets smaller, the pool that you're pulling from, you lay out all the cards that have been guessed.
So you know what's out there. Yeah.
So, at some point, all the 8s are done. All the 10s are done. Or you see there's only one ace pulled. So you're kind of playing the odds of, okay, there's only been one ace, so maybe I'll say ace. There's only one 9, so that's probably rare. So we get probably about halfway through a deck, and Jim's a dealer.
We're almost at the exact halfway part of the deck. And I become the dealer, and I seem to get in this little bit of a rut, Brian. We're a little bit of a rut where giving out the cards. I guess the card right. I guess I'm drinking a little bit. Get it over here. Got the first one wrong. Oh, okay. Second one. Oh, you guessed it right. Okay, good. It goes back and forth to the point where for the rest of the game, I was the goddamn dealer. Somehow, once again, against all odds, like our dear friend Brian here in the beginning of the game, somehow against all odds for the entire second half of the goddamn deck, the cards never went away from me. So, we're talking 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon here, and I'm just downing beers at this point. You're all just casually drinking.
But he's really sipping like a bitch. So he should have finished. Let's put it this way. In the amount that he did drink, he probably finished a solid 3, maybe 4 beers. He should have probably finished 5 or 6.
I think I did more than that.
You were skipping. But we weren't going to give you shit because we kind of felt bad for you at a certain point. Because
maybe I was in survival mode too.
It was pretty goddamn uncanny that, I don't know if me or Dan actually individually ever got one wrong. If we always ended up getting on at least a second try.
It was because I had a couple of hopeful spots, and then it was always that goddamn second try.
And me and Dan, and Dan's he introduced the game to us, and he's like, I've never seen this happen in the history of playing this game.
He's never seen the luck dynamic between the two of us.
So needless to say, Jim was none too happy after the end of that game. But by this point, even before that game, we played a few other games, and we just generally drank. So
yeah, even when we got to the hotel, we went to the hotel bar. I mean, we got there before Dan, so we just started drinking anyway.
It's a safe assumption to say total, each of us, probably before we even got to the con, was
6, 8, 10 beers, something like that.
No, I would say easily, especially because me and you went to a bar. Honestly, it might be in the 9.
Yeah, probably.
Like, it's really high up there. It was because it was just like, whatever.
And we're talking like 4 in the afternoon at this point.
Yeah. So now we're headed to the con, and we're all feeling
good.
Pretty good. We get there, as we said last time, we got there super early. This is like late afternoon, and the con is open till...
I think it's till like...
It was 8 or 10.
8 or 10. It goes pretty late, surprisingly late.
But obviously not all stands stay open that late. And the big pull for anyone who's never been to too many games, other than just random vendors and people being open, they have a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people in the gaming industry there. You know, Angry Video Game Nerd.
Well, yeah, like it's run by the people from Screenwave, which is AVGN and Mike Matei and Hack the Movies and all the guys in Rental Reviews and all them people.
So they have the best way the convention center to explain is they have the main area with all the booths, and then they have another one where food. And this year it was actually opened up, and they had like a Smash tournament going on, and a whole bunch of computer tables set up. But either way, so we get there. We don't have a strong desire, like we're not there looking for a particular piece of like game to buy. Like we're not there to, but we know we're gonna buy shit, but we're not searching. We're just there because we just want to hang around with Dan and meet some people. So we meet up with some of his buddies.
The first one we met the guys from Square Painter, Adam and his wife.
Yep, great people who I might as well throw out there. Last year, I believe I showed on here, I had bought my Splatterhouse photo from them. And this year, it's actually, and once again, goddamn light. So I'm gonna,
there you go.
There we go. So obviously, it's Dracula from Castlevania, and
beautiful.
The work he does is amazing. We went over there because our buddy Dan was actually buying a custom piece from Adam, which was Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks awesome. We're going to have his link below. If you've never seen, he hand paints pixel art, essentially.
Yeah, and he does it on like grid paper, and it's just so intricate. Like,
while we're sitting there talking to him, people are coming up like, oh, like, how'd you print that or something? He's like, no, I hand painted this.
I even asked him that. I was like, how much is that a print or is that just like an actual recreation? He's like, no, that's a hand drawn.
Yeah, his work it's crazy, and we can't recommend him enough. If you're into video games and you want some really good looking art, go over and see him.
Yeah, but he was sharing his booth with John Riggs, and we talked to him for like 5 minutes. Nice guy.
Yeah,
super nice guy.
Yeah, we got a nice picture with him. We met Adam, him, and then his buddy Dan, who actually, I guess we can say, he works for Shenmue 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of like, I don't know if you would call him a sales rep, or he's involved with Shenmue 3 and just kind of getting the word out there. But we kind of just walked around for a while. Of course, drank more beers.
Yeah, we kept going back to the beer stand.
And Dan was just running in because Dan knows a lot of people there. So we were just kind of hopping from person to person to person.
Yeah, we were hangers on.
Yeah. And, we were there like, we'll buy some stuff and we'll get to what we bought the second day. But I'd say total we stayed there 2 hours tops.
I want to say we left around like 6-ish, something like that.
So from there, if you go kind of diagonal from where the expo is, we went to this place called Arnold's.
Yeah, because there was I think it was a band that either Dan or the Square Painter guys knew.
Yep.
That was they were performing there.
Yeah, Adam actually.
Yeah.
Square Painter. So we go over to here, and for those of you who aren't in the Northeast, it's essentially think Dave and Buster's, except it has go-karts, a more grown-up bar, and an area for a band to play.
Yeah, it was like a real all-encompassing activity center.
It's like a fun zone, but definitely made for adults.
Yeah.
That's the best way we'll describe it. Naturally, we spent most of the time at the bar.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time there. We had already met with Blaber by then. So,
Our buddy, we finally got to meet him in person,
Yep.
which was awesome.
Super nice guy. Once
Again, link below. Check out his videos. He makes awesome content. Super nice guy. And we met a bunch of other people, and it's killing me that I can't remember names. A lot of them were YouTubers, but, no one's sitting there like, oh, what do you do? Like, we're just sitting there like, who wants a drink? Like, who's getting fucked up?
Yeah, everyone's basically there to party.
Yeah, and
and this isn't even the people, like, I know, like, the big-time YouTubers all had their own after-party after. Oh, yeah. Like, we're with a lot of the vendors and just, like, the randos who were there.
Yeah, and we met a few other people. We'll probably get into more next podcast. But, most of the day, I'd say we stuck to beer. Now we're introducing shots into the mix.
Yes, shots got introduced once we got to that second bar.
So we're doing Fireball and whatnot. And we're all starting to feel really good. The big thing with the Too Many Games is that there's always like a VIP. You can buy a VIP pass to kind of go to this other hotel and party afterwards. So we go with Dan, Adam, and we go back to Adam's hotel and
start drinking some more.
Then
we started breaking out the vodka shots.
Yeah, and this is a point where, God, I know you slowed down a little bit. Not much.
Not much,
but a little bit. But vodka is literally my kryptonite, and I always look at it, I'm like, this is a terrible fucking night. Like, why? Like,
and it's not like we said no. We just kept going with it.
No, it's like, I can't be rude.
This is the part where mistakes start to be made.
Yeah, so I think from that point we said when we initially left, we might grab some pizza at the expo. We didn't eat a whole ton. But,
we had like one slice of pizza at the expo. And Dan's a vegan, so he didn't even have that.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
Yeah. And we're, slamming back shots, whatever. Now, the easiest way I can try to describe this is if you've ever been to an industrial park or places where there's a lot of hotels, you'll know it's usually big highway, chain of hotels, and then a few blocks, not, what would be equivalent to a few blocks down, other hotels. Whatever hotel we were at, we needed to walk to the Hilton, I believe it was. It was wherever the VIP party was. I'm going to call it the Hilton, and let's say we're over here. Let's say it's less than a 5-minute walk away. So
this is where Jim being Jim comes into play.
So we're all walking, and at one point I just kind of look over and I see Jim kind of stumbling towards the bushes. I don't think much of it because Jim pissing outside is
nothing new.
If you've ever drank with Jim, it's like he takes a sip of beer. He's like, I gotta pee. Like, he's peeing a lot. I'm like, sure, he can't wait 5 minutes to just go, or he could have went to a hotel before we left, like I did. No, he's got to go find a bush.
Details.
So let's also be very clear, between these two hotels is a straight road. It's one direction.
From what I hear, it's a straight road, and it's a 5-minute walk.
If you were playing a side-scroller, you were going from left to right.
If you're playing Skyrim, it's not long. Yeah.
But you're not playing Skyrim. You're playing
real life.
You're on a singular linear path.
And we're in Oaks, PA. There's not a lot of intersecting, crisscrossing highways out here.
You turn around.
There's one road.
You turn around, there's a highway. You turn back, there's a hotel we just came from. And you look over in the distance, there's the objective. So Jim's drunk. I'm talking with Dan, talking with people. We get to the new place. I'm just assuming Jim's, eyes lagging behind. But he's following us. So we get to the new hotel. I walk in, go to the bar in the VIP area. It's cash only. Well, fuck. I don't carry cash. Where's the nearest ATM? Of course, they don't have a goddamn ATM anywhere nearby. They're like, oh, the Wawa a few hotels over. So now I have to cross the highway, drunk as shit, run over there, get some cash. On my way back, I throw up a few times, but it wasn't like even good throw ups because we didn't eat. So I was like, I'm pretty notorious where my throw up is I'm a full boot and rally. Like I throw up and gonna go the rest of the night. I'm not like, oh, I got sick, I'm done for the rest of the night. So now I get back and now I'm realizing, fuck, I found Dan. Where's Jim?
Nah.
The timeline is very important here because you need to understand Jim's thinking.
We're talking probably a timeline of about 10, 15 minutes tops.
So Jim.
Which is all it took for me.
Jim, where are you at? And he says, at hotel. Where are you? I'm at the hotel. I'm like, we're here. Like, where are you standing? Huh? Like, which hotel are you at? I said, what do you mean? We're at the one with the party, like the Hilton or whatever. Oh, I went back to our hotel. Now, mind you, that is a roughly 10-minute drive from Uber to get from where we were to get back to our old hotel, which means in Jim's mind, he goes, he pees and thinks, oh, where'd everyone go? Well, clearly they couldn't have walked that extra 3 minutes down this road. They must have went back to our hotel where nothing was going on. So let me call an Uber and get over there. So whatever. Jim's drunk. This is nothing new for me. No, dude.
Also, what do you call it? It wasn't that. It was me texting you after I peed. And I come out from the bushes and I go, everybody go. So I text in barely English text at this point. And it's basically along the lines of where you at, and you told me we're going to the Hilton. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be right over. So between sending go on that text and me thinking what to do next in order to get there, somehow lines don't get crossed. And I go, where'd everybody go again? And then I go back to the hotel.
You know what? Let me be clear. I pulled up the text and the timeline.
I'm claiming no fault of anyone's own on this but mine.
Yes. Okay. 10:35, I write, I'm running to Wawa. They only do cash. He said...
Which is a shame, too, because I had a fuckload of cash on me.
Which is great, because 1 minute later, he wrote, at ease. Aw. I don't know what the fuck. He's probably trying to text his wife or something. I don't know what that means. At ease, aw. And then he wrote, Wawa. And then at 10:47, he wrote, where are you at? I said, I'm here, 10:57. Where are you at? 10:58. On my way back to hotel. So now I'm confused because I'm like, what the fuck you mean, like, on your way back? Like, I thought, in my mind, I'm like, maybe he went to Wawa too.
And let's put this in perspective, too. A big reason that we were doing the overnight and stuff like that was to mingle, was to network, was to meet people, was to party with people.
The whole point was to actually go to this VIP after party.
So, of course, I find a way to fuck.
Yeah.
Especially being a social media guy, you'd think I'd be the one to talk to them to keep these relationships going.
And remind you, I've thrown up at this point. I'm not in exactly tip-top shape either, but 2 minutes after he says, on my way back to the hotel, I say, which hotel? He says, the Radisson, which is where we stayed. Let me know where you are, and I'll come out. This was at 11:01. So right now, it's back and forth. A lot of back and forth. All good. I said, at the Hilton, where did you go? Not real, like, thinking, like, there's no way he went back to the fucking hotel. 2 minutes later, went to take a piss, and missed y'all. I'll come over now. 11:05. 11:08, he writes Hilton in Phoenixville. Like, we're going to be, and it's everything's in fucking Phoenixville. So now he's just like, whatever. So that was 11:08. At 11:45, I wrote, come on over, thinking, like, I saw his last text, like, okay, like, obviously he's on his way. Still no answers from this fucking guy. And now I'm looking at 12:30. I say, where are you at? At 12:30 something, I said, yo. And that was the end of it.
I don't even remember.
There's no answers from Jim at this point. Needless to say, this whole time, as I'm texting him, I'm getting drunk as shit. I'm taking more shots. I'm doing shit. Dan, he's drinking too. We're all drinking. The end of the night comes. Me and Dan, we get an Uber home.
Well, didn't Dan also pass out outside for a little while?
He passed out for a little while.
In a lawn chair.
But he was going strong, unlike some
people.
And
he was actually there, unlike some people.
So, it was a really fun time there.
You had a few disappearing acts on you. That's all you had to say.
Yeah. And I get me and Dan an Uber. We go back. I'm like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Like, every time with Jim, there's an event. When we did our first video shoot. There's many things that Jim just somehow...
Why do I leave the house?
It falls apart.
Why do I go anywhere?
So
Why do I do anything?
So me and Dan, I'm like, you know, we're going to go in. We're going to fuck up. Like, let's go mess with him. I know he's passed out. Bust in the room. It's dark, as it would be for someone sleeping. We turn on lights. We look at the beds. They're completely made. No one's been there. We're like, holy fuck. We lost... Like, I'm like, I got to call Jim's wife. We lost Jim. Like, what the fuck? And Dan was like, maybe he's in the bathroom. And I'm like, the door shut. That's weird.
A very smart guess by Dan, by the way.
Knock on the door. was like, Jim, you motherfucker. What? What'd I do? And then we spent the next, I don't know how many hours, first just reprimanding Jim for, at first he didn't want to take no blame. He's like, no, you guys left me and I figured you came back here. It's only 5 hours later. like it's.
This is probably what happened. I don't remember any of it.
This is also 3 a.m. at this point, mind you. And so we pretty much spend the rest of the night eating Doritos.
Quoting The Departed.
And quoting The Departed, singing random songs, just completely fucked up. Needless to say, we're all hungover. Don't feel great the next day. Jim's not even willing to do the morning beer with me and Dan.
No.
Jim was really rough, even though he had more rest, because I'm pretty sure he fell asleep in the bathroom.
I'm pretty sure I fell asleep sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
Not the first time that's happened.
No. So we go so the next day, Jim and I are both like, and Dan's like, yeah,
was fucking hurting
he's like, dude, I'm gonna go back. Like, I gotta say hi to some people. Jim and I were both like doing a gut check. Like, do we want to go back? Yeah, let's go back. We'll buy some shit. Like, let's look at the vendors.
We'll hit the floor. Yeah.
So next day, the funnier part of the story's over. Jim, you have more stuff, so I'll start with mine. You know, we're doing the vendors, but we're fucking hurting. I only bought 2 things. Now, I've said many times on this channel.
Well, we both the shirts we're wearing right now, we bought.
So basically, for mine, if you've ever seen Trick or Treat, it's Sam from it, which you know I love horror. And Jim,
I got Splatterhouse shirt.
Which that is
long
a
sleeve shirt.
Dan's buddy Adam had the day before.
He was wearing it when we got there. I was like, I need this shirt.
I definitely was like, dude, I want that, but especially it being long sleeve, and once Jim got it, I was like, well, can't get the same shirt. Come on.
Oh, because we didn't do that with the Thanksgiving shirt, that other one.
Listen, Jim, that shirt's going to get revealed. Don't ruin it.
I mean...
And of course, we will mention, you might have seen already on other videos, or you will see on videos. You'll definitely see in the future. Dan was nice enough to give us, he's got the new black Console Wars
Very
shirts.
nice shirt.
They look awesome. He gave us a couple. So that was really awesome, Dan. If you're watching this, thanks again. But I've said many times, I'm not the collector. If I buy anything, it's horror video games or something that really catches my eye. So all I looked at were horror video games. The 2 things I got were Resident Evil Survivor. This was one of the few Resident Evil games I've never even played at all. I know about it. I saw it. It was $20. I was like, you know what? That seems like a reasonable price, because when I looked at it online when we were doing this Resident Evil month, I was going to get it, but it was like in the 30s or 40s, and I was like, it's not worth it because I know the game's going to suck. That was a no-brainer. And then my son absolutely is obsessed with Monsters, Inc. So Monsters, Inc. for PS1, $5. I was like, I can't not get it. Like, it's right there next to Resident Evil Survivor. So those were just the 2 simple games other than the square painter drawing I saw. And I was good to go. That's all I needed to get.
Yep.
Jim bought more.
Yeah, well, I didn't go crazy though.
No.
So
goddamn Vectrex.
Respectably. I did not get the Vectrex or the 3DO or the Turbo Do or any of that shit. But, so first game up is a game that you were actually so close to getting.
Dude.
I was like, if you want it, buy it. I don't need it. Like,
and if he didn't buy it.
But I said if you weren't going to buy it, I was going to buy it.
And this is a game, well, go ahead. You can show him and I'll explain.
Kid Chameleon.
So I've said many times on this channel, when I grew up, my brother had Genesis, I had the Super NES. This was one game I bought myself, and
Game and box, no
such
manual.
a fucking fun game. The basic premise is that you're this kid, and if Jim, show the box one more time.
Yeah.
It's that atypical skater, motorcycle, leather jacket, slick back hair, glasses. He puts on certain masks and becomes the version of them. So it's like a samurai. He wears a Jason Voorhees mask, and it's like he's throwing axes. He wears a skull mask. He's shooting from a tank. A rhino mask. It's really interesting, kind of side-scrolling, platformer, and you basically get all these different abilities. The soundtrack's really good. I'm sure it's a game we're definitely going to review now in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an excellent game. And I said for all of Jim's terrible Genesis games, this will be a good one.
And it was $20, which actually isn't bad because I see a lot of stores around here that they were charging like at least $15 for the cart alone. So
yeah,
cart and box for $20, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Next up.
I approve that buy.
So next up is going to be, again, in lieu with the Resident Evil that we do and how much we love it, Resident Evil 2, the N64 version, which... This is kind of a crazy version because they somehow fit all the game onto this.
Yeah.
Now the quality of the FMV scenes and stuff like that, like it's a little blurrier as you would expect, and the sound isn't as crisp. But we're talking about a cartridge here with like a fourth of the storage, so the fact that they got all the fit on here is a friggin' miracle. And where you bought your games and where we bought most of these, it was the same vendor, and their prices were all over the map. Like some prices were really good, and some were outlandish. Like they were selling, like I get paid $50 for this, and it's complete, and it's a little beat up, but it's not too bad. And like it's tough. This became a game that people really started to buy for the N64.
Yeah.
So finding it for $50 complete in box isn't that bad, really.
No.
But we're also talking about a table that had Robotron 64 complete for $100, which is completely outlandish.
Yeah.
So I think finding that, it almost seems like they have prices that you just never updated.
Yeah, and that's one, I'll tell you right now, like, as much as I jokingly shit on the 64, like, I get that. And I'm someone with my horror game obsession. I was like, God damn, that's a good buy. But yeah, $50, I was like, after I bought my shit, I was like, I'm not spending $50 on that. So that is another one I approve. And although we've already done all of our at this point, we've done almost all of our Resident Evil reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about the 64 version. That's just a cool thing to have.
Right. I'm an N64 guy, as we all obviously know. So
Yeah.
obviously that's one that I kind of have to have for the collection.
Yeah.
So next up, DrinkABeerand games.
I don't approve.
Paid all of $2 for it. Zaxxon. Arcade classic game. Good port of it for the system. $2, how can you go wrong? I actually wanted to get Burger Time for it too, but they had two carts there. One was 20 and one was 15. And I am not paying even $15 for a ColecoVision game.
I mean, the only $2 is like, there's not many stuff that I wouldn't be like, oh, all right, $2, that's nothing.
Right.
That's the only thing I'm okay with that.
And last up for the games is, anytime I go to too many games, it seems to be a tradition now. I have to get at least one game for the Turbo. So I got Final Lap Twin. Good racing game, $20, complete in box. Doesn't have the outside cardboard deal, but I can live without that. Fun little racing game. Only racing game I have for the Turbo now.
Hey, Jim.
What?
You're saying good little racing game. I bet I could stack up against every single physical copy of a racing game you own, and that's at the bottom.
Yeah, incorrect.
Really? That you
Probably
own,
not.
That you own.
Probably not. I probably own something
You don't
worse.
own many good racing. You don't own many racing games, period.
I don't own that. Well, actually,
Yeah. I own a lot, so that might not fall true for me. I'm just saying, God damn it, Jim.
look, Brian, let's be fair here. It's not the most, in your eyes, disappointing game. All Turbo collectors, I know they went, oh, yeah, it's a good get.
Of course,
It's a
'cause
good
they
Turbo
like
game.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah, like you got a blowjob from her? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey, blowjob's a blowjob at the end of the day, Brian, all right? Next up.
This is
Something that
so
you-
already, last purchase, this is where I'm like, okay, $20. I spent that on a bad Resident Evil game, but one that is overpriced to begin with, and it's rare. Okay. He spent $20 on an amazing game right there with Kid Chameleon. And then he did that goddamn Turbo game. So now his decisions are, they're taking a nosedive. And I'm like, he'll level out. And what did you get next, Jim?
Next up is the Turbo Tap for the TurboGrafx 16. So, as I mentioned in a previous video that no one watched, the TurboGrafx 16 only came with one controller port. One of the many reasons it failed in the United States.
Because who would want to play on the Turbo with you?
Who wants to play the Turbo with me, Ryan? Who wants to play with me in the game? So, Turbo Tap gives you up to 5 players.
Yeah, how many controllers do you have, Jim?
Currently, I have one.
So what you're saying is you got a piece of equipment that you
I'm gonna be
don't
buying. I'm gonna be buying more controllers for it. Don't you worry.
Okay, so best case scenario, me and you are gonna play it.
That's all we need,
Yeah. So why do you need 3 more ports?
just in case.
Just in case.
never
what?
know, Brian.
Are you gonna put out? How much is a turbo controller, Jim?
Actually, I gotta look it up. I don't know. It's probably like 15 at this point.
You think that's it for a decent one, not a third-party shit one?
Nah, 20ish maybe.
Okay. So
And also the extension cord part of it's pretty nice because the controllers have a short cord.
so
This is nice too.
so what you're saying?
Dual
is
purpose,
you
dual purpose, great
potentially
buy.
need to put out another $80 to get full use out of that.
Only so many games have that many things anyway. case we get a bunch of people together to play Bomberman on there.
By the way, starting with that piece, this is the beginning of Jim's terrible decisions for this video. So he's fucking nosediving. And I look at him.
I call it as providing content.
This is where I'm egging him on. Get the Vectrex. Get the Vectrex. Get it. And okay, so at this point...
Also, which I not realized after the first day, I'm looking, and I brought a certain amount. And the next day when I'm like looking and like going on the floor, I'm like, where'd like at least half my money go? That went towards booze the entire time, obviously.
But at this point, let's also point out, how much was that turbo thing?
That was $30, I believe.
Okay, so $50 worth of terrible decisions have already been made.
How dare you, sir?
$50.
How dare you? Now, this one, it's got a purpose, but I know you hate me for it. Hate myself a little bit. $15.
Crash and burn.
This monstrosity right here. This.
I don't know if he's doing it near the mic, but listen to the cheapness of the plastic creaking. Plastic shouldn't. You hear that? Plastic should not creak like that. But what is it for, Jim? Because
this is the Super Action controller for the ColecoVision.
Oh my god!
And this is for a certain sect of games that just have a control scheme that the normal ColecoVision controller couldn't handle.
How many games, Jim? Throw a number out there. 5?
Hell if I know. More than 5.
All right, 6.
More than bastard. So has a nice little stick up top. Has this wheel over here, which God knows what it does.
Can you quiet down for a sec? Can you move that stick again? Yeah, I'm sure that'll work great.
Nice little stick. Four action buttons over here for multiple purposes. This would have been great for when I did Mousetrap.
How many buttons are on the regular Coleco?
You get 2 action buttons, the keypad, and the thummy stick. So
there's 2 extra.
This basically comes with basically comes with 2 more buttons and a wheel. That's what it comes with, and a better stick, way better stick.
What are the chances those 2 extra buttons are actually mapped to anything?
Au contraire, for the games that it does, it is very much mapped to stuff.
So those 6 games.
Mousetrap, doing the walls, they're all color coded. This would have made that a hell of a lot easier. And the main reason I got this is we've only been donated so few games in the entire history of the page. So we have Mutant Football League, which we have to do eventually, that Todd gave us. And we got Super Action Baseball from the Retro Sports Gamer. So this is the only way that we can play that.
Don't act like if he didn't do that, you would not have considered buying it.
Oh, if I didn't have that game, I wouldn't have bought this.
I'm not buying it. It makes it a little better, but still terrible decision.
Incorrect. But it's a better controller than a normal ColecoVision controller anyway. So
would you say because
world of uses,
that system in general is not that good?
Fantastic system.
Jim,
victim of the video game crash.
You reviewed it, and it's not that good.
It's pretty good. Damn
We've
good
played games together. It's not that good.
Pretty damn good. It's because we used a crappier controller. Now that we have the superior controller, it just makes it all the better.
I'll give you. Here's the only leeway I'll give you on that statement. The Atari never existed. It'd be a pretty good system. Stack it up against the Atari.
Way better graphics.
I mean,
games
I know
are more complex.
I know River Raid.
It's got War Games.
I know River Raid sucks.
War Games is on both of them, or River Raid's on both of them.
Yeah, and I know River Raid on Atari sucks and you hate it. But what I'm saying is, stop buying stupid shit for systems that nobody cares about.
I got a wheel. I don't know what the wheel does, but I got a wheel.
What's amazing is, of all the stuff you got one good game for. Let me finish this. For one good system.
I believe that I got 4 great games from 4 amazing systems.
So, all right.
The most questionable of purchases probably could have been the Turbo Tap, I'll say.
All I'm saying is, for a little bit more money, if you didn't buy any of that shit, you could have a Vectrex. I could be mad at you about something else.
Could be mad at me about
Vectrex. At least I would respect it because you've talked about that fucking thing so long that I'm like, just buy it at this point. Fuck.
Look, Bri, you're making a risk when you spend that much money on a system like that. Whereas with this,
the Coleco wasn't far off, Jim.
Pretty sure this is a home run right here, boy. This is a home run, buddy.
So, at the end of the day, we had a great time, too many games. We can't thank Dan, Adam, everyone we met enough.
Yep.
We can't wait to do it again. We may try to do other game conferences like this, or
yeah, both of us being dads, and we don't make money off YouTube really.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to be dropping everything to go out to these things, but I know there's one in North Jersey at like the end of September, I think. that Dan also goes to, so maybe we'll try and crash that. But
For sure. I mean, and like you said, Dan, I consider him a friend, like a good friend at this point. We just love hanging with him. So
right now, Dan's going, fuck no.
He's like, God damn it. Stop getting me drunk.
It's like, maybe Brian, not Jim. Fuck that guy. Hold your pee.
So if you ever been to too many games or you know anything about it, let us know below. And if you're going next year, we're definitely going to see you there.
Yep.